been following from the time we started this webinar since last year until date. Your contributions thus far has helped us. Thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for your collaborations. Thank you for Society of Petroleum Engineers, Port Harcourt session, that session 103, for their contributions thus far. We want to sincerely appreciate every one of us that have been working at the back end, all my team members and members of staff. I welcome you warmly to today's occasion. And today's webinar is a very, very interesting one. It's more about talking about making a career transition. So many persons, even yesterday, I got a call from someone whose desire is how you can transit from marketing that I studied in the university undergraduate program to something like a digital market, no, to data science. And his problem has been, how is it possible for me to be able to make this switch? So that's why a webinar like this is brought to the fore. Now, this webinar is going to answer questions like this, challenges like this. And there are some persons who are actually on this call who are looking out to speak with the guest speaker to ask questions that are bothering on how they can make the career switch easily and at the end of the day fulfill their dreams. Mind you, why Study Globally is existing is because we want to help you to fulfill your dreams. So I would like you to sit down, be relaxed, take note of all the suggestions and all the contributions that we made from here. Everything the guest speaker is going to be making, please make your notes, write it down, ask questions, be free to ask questions. You can ask questions directly on the chat box. You can also ask questions during the question and answer session, but I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day, those questions, those burning issues shall be treated. At this point in time, let me remind you that our services are actually free. So for those of us who are looking for opportunities to study abroad, the opportunities you have, we are bringing to your doorstep at this point in time. In Nigeria, we have so many people who have been swindled by agents. We have so many people that have cried foul, that people have collected their monies and they've not gained admission. But then we've come to change the narrative. That's why we're in the business. So you can give us a try after this whole event. You can contact us either by phone. We're going to provide that during the course of today's event. And at the end of the day, we are sure that your dreams of going to study abroad, particularly in UK, US, and Canada, and Australia, shall come to fruition. At this point in time, I would like to hand over to my colleague who will handle the next point of our agenda. Thank you very much. Sit back, be relaxed, and at the end of the day, do have a swell time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kachi. You've all heard it clearly. Sit back, relax, and have a swell time. But do ensure to take home important information. So next, we'll be taking our keynote address from Itoro. Itoro, please confirm you're available to take that now.
Yes, thank you very much, Queen. I'm right here and available to take our keynote address. So okay, good evening.
Sorry, Anna, you have the stage. Sorry, please proceed.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to our January edition of our monthly webinar sessions. So when some of us picked our undergraduate courses, we're still very young and not exactly sure what we wanted to do with our lives. But now that we are much older and we have a better view of life, we have more insight, we have more experiences. Pursuing a postgraduate degree, be it master's or your PhD, is best opportunity, is best way to like effectively transition into a new field, transition into a new aspect of life that you have your eyes on. So this is why this webinar has been put together by Study Globally in collaboration with SP Port Harcourt section, because we're here to discuss the career transitions, the opportunities available, the tips, challenges, the requirements, etc. That's why our esteemed speaker, Rita Ozo, is here to share with us our experiences and also give us the best practices that she followed, and she will advise all of us to follow to be able to make a successful career transition. So yes, like my colleague Onyekachi said, to sit back, ask questions, interact, enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ito. So before we move on to introduce our speaker, I'd just like to remind you that this program is organized by Study Globally Nigeria in collaboration with SP Port Harcourt section. So do well to reach out to Study Globally even after the event so you can get more information on how to move forward with your postgraduate studies. So on this note, I'll be moving straight to reading out our speaker's profile. Like, her profile is so rich that you already have an idea of the wealth of knowledge you'll be gathering at the end of this event. So our speaker, Rita Ozo, is a Nigerian who is an applied data science master student at Teesside University, United Kingdom, where she is studying the application of Microsoft's Power BI in data analysis, and also the application of some programming languages like Python and R language in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and interactive visualization. She also holds an OFS, that's Office for Students, scholarship at Seaside University. She is a first-class graduate of the Department of Chemical Engineering, class of 2018, Madonna University, Nigeria. She was the best graduating student in her department with a CGPA of 4.6 out of 5.0. Rita was an undergraduate intern in the Reservoir Engineering Services Department of an NNPC subsidiary called the IDSL, that's Integrated Data Science Limited, where she developed technical skills in using the Petroleum Expert software, MBL, which is used to carry out forecasting predictions in a petroleum reservoir. Towards the end of her internship, she made use of the MBAL software to perform reservoir analysis on 2 reservoirs that were communicating with each other. After that, she did her National Youth Service in the Industrial Performance Department of Nestle Nigeria PLC, where she further developed her analytical skills by using Pareto analysis in Microsoft Excel. She also participated in focused improvement activities such as DMAIC, basic problem solving, and in the process obtained a Lean Six Sigma White Belt certification. During the period of her National Youth Service, she was also the Vice President of the National Association of Catholic Corpus 2018-2019. After that, she went further to obtain a certificate for Introduction to Data Science from the IBM Developer Skills Network, cognitive class.ai. So you can actually check that out later. I think that's a website, if I'm not mistaken, and she would give us more insight into most of these data science certifications and how to achieve them at the end of the day. So without further ado, please let's use the reaction emoji to make a huge welcome to our speaker today. Miss Rita, you are so welcome. Please, you can have the stage.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay, I'll start by sharing my screen. First of all, I was an undergraduate in chemical engineering department, which is weird saying I'm now doing data science. But I don't know, I just switched. Definitely, I'm going to share how I switched with you. So I'm going to talk about making a career transition, the opportunities, the tips, and the challenges, because sincerely, there are challenges. Like, it doesn't just come like that. So I switched to tech, but then why tech? If you notice, during the pandemic, when small businesses were closing down, when everybody was losing their job and everything was just going haywire, companies like Google, IBM, Facebook, Amazon, companies that dealt with tech were employing people. It was more like, if you don't have a tech career, if you're not working as a tech personnel, you are practically about to be jobless like in the next 10, 15, 20 years. And it was like a big blow to those that didn't really know what the value of tech was. But I didn't switch because of that. I already had that in mind, thanks to my undergraduate internship in IDSL, which is the NNPC subsidiary. I was thrown into reservoir department. Like it was like an opening to see what you could actually do with data, like what information could actually give you as a result. So the MBAL software alone tells you, let's say it predicts, yes, it gives you the foresight of the wells in the reservoir that could actually do well. So it was more like an insight, more like saying, I can't just stay here and, I mean, I know chemical engineering is great. It's wonderful, no doubt. If you're a chemical engineer, you know what I'm talking about. It's actually a beautiful course. But if you apply data science to chemical engineering, I mean, you could do more than you would do without data science. So back to what I'm talking about, everybody that knows about tech companies knows that they get more profits every year because the world is going digital now. But then when you want to switch to a tech field, I'll talk about the opportunities that you have first before I can talk about the tips. Not every tech course or field or career has to do with coding. Not everybody likes coding, I understand. So I'm going to give you opportunities that don't really require you to really sit down and write tons of codes. No. When you talk about a product manager or a project manager, some people don't know it's tech, but it's tech related. You don't need coding for that. A UI UX designer, that is user experience and user interaction. You don't need to be a coding master or mistress for that. Like you don't really need to know coding for that because it talks about your creativity. What can you bring to the table? How creative are you? Then also a business analyst. It's more like using the data to analyze, to predict, to forecast, to give out results, to give out let's say to give out visualizations. Yes, so you're like analyzing, trying to dissect into something. You don't really need to be an expert in coding for you to be a business analyst. But then there are some aspects of tech that now need you to know how to code. These are like the front end or back end or full stack developer, cybersecurity engineer, the data scientist, software developers. With this aspect, if you like coding, if you think you would want to sit down in front of your laptop or desktop from morning till night, writing series of codes, having errors, going back to debug is more like clearing your errors, going back to debug your errors. If you feel like this is what you want, like you probably love to interact with your system, write codes, like codes that people, you would probably tell somebody, you understand what I'm doing. If you know that this is what you want to do, then there are some tech careers, there are some careers in the tech field that are actually for you. So now I'm going to talk about the tips to transitioning. The first thing you should do is, I call it self-reflection. It's like asking, what do you really want? What do you want from your career? What do you want for your future? What is it that you don't like about your present career, about your present job role? What is it that you don't like? Like, what is motivating you to really think about switching to talk about? Like, what is your plan? Like, what interests you? Are you good at public speaking? Because when you talk about the non-coding aspect of tech, a business analyst should be somebody that is good at public speaking. Why? Because you're able to present your results. It's business. You are trying to sell the reason why the business should do this and do that. So you should be able to present your result to the people. Are you good at public speaking? Can you stand and convince people? So what is it that you have that you feel like you are not being that is not being utilized in this current area of your life? That you feel like going into the tech world would help you bring it out, like would help you come out, like would help your inner self very well. So it's, what do you really want? What interests you? Then what are your plans? Then when you talk about what are your plans, you really have to tell yourself the truth. Do you have to quit your current job? Are you okay with that? Is that really what will give you peace of mind? You also have to think about, okay, I would have to start saving money. Maybe you want to study abroad. maybe you want to get certification, you need to pay for all these things. So you just don't make the rash decision without really thinking thoroughly. No, you should be able to think, okay, what do I want? Do I need to save money? Do I really need to like tell my boss, oh, I'm resigning today? And will you really be okay with that? Do you also want a tech job that would give you time? Some people want to have family. Some people want to be freelancers. They don't really want to work for somebody in a company whereby they'll be going to work 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. It depends. They don't really want that. They really want to be freelancers. So you really need to think thoroughly into what do you want to do. If you want to be in the non-coding aspect, it's now to say, okay, this is what I want. Maybe this is the way I should follow. There are also times when you would not want to leave your current position. You would not want to leave. For example, now some people might be biochemists. You did biochemistry in school, but then you really want to find a way to apply tech with biochemistry. Now, this is you. It's what you want. In tech field, we have what we call health informatics. It has to do with health, and it's also being combined with the aspect of tech. We could research more on that. So before you take any step, you ask yourself what you want, what you're not happy about presently, what you'd want to improve, what you would want your future to be like. Maybe you want to have time for your kids or something. Just think about everything. And please, the number one advice, jot them down. You know, the human brain works in a way that you could just remember something and then the next second you would say, oh, what was that thing? So when you're making plans, write them down. Let this plan be something that you know that you could refer to and say, okay, yes, this is what I want. So that when the time comes, you don't say, oh my God, I've done this, meanwhile I would have done that. No. So the first thing is self-reflection. Reflect on what you want first. Then secondly, you have to make a research. In the aspect of the research, you would have to be like, okay, what aspect of tech appeals to you? For example, if you are creative, you might try to go for the UI or for the UX. UI, UX is like those that create let me say, for example, if you have a mobile app, right? All those places where you see the menu, the buttons, the colors, the design, the way some apps that when you open, they're like beautiful. Like you say, this app is perfectly arranged. That's the work of a user experience researcher. So you might be type that is creative by nature. So you might really want to go into UI, UX, web development. UI, UX is for those that don't need coding. The other one is for those that need coding. So you just know what you want. Then these courses, or rather these careers, they have what we call soft skills and hard skills. By soft skills, that's the aspect that has to do with, are you a team player? Do you love problem solving? Are you detail oriented? Then also, are you creative? Like these are examples of soft skills. So maybe, for example, now you say, okay, I want to go into being a data scientist, for example. The first thing you should do is find out, okay, what skills, what hard skills and what soft skills are needed in this career path. What are the soft skills? Is it what you can develop? Maybe you are not really into being a team player or something, but you feel like, okay, I want to go into this. Give yourself time. Maybe you work with some people, try and be a team player, listen to them, they listen to you, you collaborate together. Then maybe miraculously, someone just comes to LinkedIn and then endorses you as a team player, and then, ooh, you've gotten that one soft skill. So you will know what you want, know the soft skills you need, and the hard skills you need. Hard skill in this sense now is like the coding skills or the programming skills. For example, those into UI, UX. I know that there is a software called Figma that is being used. Okay, knowing how to use Figma or Adobe Photoshop or something, like knowing how to use these softwares is like a hard skill in that aspect of tech. Coming to data science, knowing how to use Python. Python is widely used. It's used for lots, tons of things. Web development is there. It can be used for visualization, for data scientists and analysts. It can be used for lots of things. So you should be able to know, okay, what aspect of this should I focus on? what hard skill do I need? Do I need C++? Do I need HTML? For those that want to do web development, you should probably focus on JavaScript, HTML, CSS, like then some PHP. So there are some, you need to know the hard skills you need for the area of tech you want to go into. So that is also a bonus. Then it's also nice if you will go to YouTube to explore videos. I mean, videos that have to do with, okay, transition change, career change, career transition. People share their own, because everyone's experience is completely different. People share their own experiences. So you could just go and watch a handful or random videos. It would give you more insight on what it is that you are expected to have achieved before you can boldly say, okay, I'm ready to apply for this job in this particular firm and stuff like that. So you have to know the people that are already in this field. See, it's a research. You go to LinkedIn. Sincerely, before I got my admission, while in the admission or while in the process of the whole thing, I met one guy on LinkedIn. I was browsing, looking for those studying, or those that work in the area of data science. So I just connected and he connected. And he started my connection. So I talked with him. I told him, oh, I'm really impressed, because from what I could see, you only had a bachelor's degrees, but he was working with Microsoft. Most of the certifications on his LinkedIn page were like he just did the course himself. He wasn't taught in the school and all that. So connect with people in this field. Try and see what certifications they have. Maybe for a web developer, you say, okay, what courses did he study in school? Because some people like me, I put on my LinkedIn profile, oh, I'm doing this course, I'm doing that course. So some people put the courses they do in school. So you find out, what do they do? How far have they gone? What are their experiences? In where and where? That self would, where and where have they worked in? That self would give you an insight to know, okay, this particular company or firm could employ people in the tech field. You never knew. I mean, some people, if you love fashion, you could actually be in it. So you could actually apply for a tech position there, because some fashion companies, look at M&S, it's all about lots of things, including clothing brand. But when you go to the website, I mean, the website is tech on its own. The web development, the way the website is arranged, everything is all about tech, the navigations. They also give you, by the time you browse through different websites, probably one day you are probably opening Facebook or something, then you see an ad, or you open Instagram, then you see an ad about one of the things you've searched or related things you've searched online. That is data doing its work. So all these companies, all these firms, they are trying to connect back with people that know that they want our products, they want what we have. All of that is tech. So tech can be in anywhere, food industry, fashion. Just find where your passion is. If you like manufacturing, if you like supply chain, there's an aspect of tech in each of these departments. So you could use your previous experiences instead of changing completely. For those that don't want to change completely, you could enhance the skill you have and probably make yourself a better choice for employers, because you have what they don't have and also what they need. Because it's very important to actually make your research. When you look for people in this field, you check the courses they do in school, certifications, the jobs where they've worked. Probably you could go through their profile and see everything, practically everything, especially when you go to LinkedIn, practically everything from beginning to end about their academic life and their present job opportunities or occupation. So it would help you have an insight of what you really need in this tech field. Then you talk about networking. Sometimes going to LinkedIn and viewing the profile is not really enough. You really need to be able to connect with these people. Hell, there are questions you would want to ask. There are sometimes when you are confused about, okay, from this person's profile, he had the certification, he had this, he had that. Then you begin to wonder, okay, you are working now as a data scientist. Why did you go into learning HTML? That's practically for web developers. There are some controversies in all these coding aspects of tech. So if you are able to communicate with them, network with them, chat with them, because tomorrow you might really start doing something, then you would have a hiccup somewhere. You will be able to go back and say, oh, please, I'm stuck here. Could you help me do this? Could you throw more light for me? So it's more like an insight. So by the time you're able to network with people, you're able to connect with them. In cases whereby you have maybe tech problem or your code isn't running, you want to debug the code, you have someone to go to and ask questions. Or maybe in case tomorrow you are confused about, okay, what school do I attend, or what course in particular do I really need to go for, that I'm seeing data science, I'm seeing data analytics, and then they are similar, just one course is separating them, and then you begin. Some people that you've connected with before on LinkedIn should be able to help you with that, because you've created that connection. Some people don't believe in networking, but it's like a very, very, very huge part of life, and also in career transition. You need to network with people because they have more insights, they have more knowledge, they will be able to share more than you think you know with you. Then there are also some websites, like there's a website called meetup.com. It's a web page, yes, it's a website. It has tons, it has tons of data groups of people, like Pythonistas, for those that like using Python, that want to learn Python. Like it's groups of people with different tech fields, or like with different technologies in a group. So it depends on the group you want to join. You could join these groups, you could discuss with them, maybe do projects with them. Like you learn more. By the time you've probably done 1 or 2 projects with these people, or you've interacted with them, maybe ask questions, answered questions, like more like trying to connect, trying to create that network. Not that strangers, like you're all strangers to yourself, but by the end of the day, you would see that these are people that you could run to when, oh, I'm writing a Python code and then I'm stuck. Please, this is what I've done. This is what came up. What do I do next? They would answer you immediately. Why? Because you've worked with them. You've interacted with them. They've seen that, okay, you are active here. You communicate with them and they communicate back with you. Then there's what we call Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow in this sense is, I see it as a more advanced group, because sometimes when you ask questions, the answers can be like, I don't really know where these people are going to, because they talk as if you already have that knowledge. It's not bad to really be a part of Stack Overflow. It's not. Yes, some might be able to break down the answer for you when answering the question, because it's a group. You just throw a question. Anybody can answer the question. So someone might answer it like, oh, you should at least know this, so just do that. Like they are answering a question like you're already an intermediate or an advanced person. It's still not bad, because by the time you've gotten that part, you could still ask, okay, but then this and that, like they should be able to throw more light by the time you ask more questions. So some avoid Stack Overflow, I understand perfectly, because some of their answers to questions are a little bit confusing, but it doesn't stop you. It doesn't make you to just kick them out of the way. No, because why? They know what they are doing. Their answers mostly, or rather are mostly right. Every single thing I've actually looked for on Stack Overflow in my coding errors and all that, my coding issues, they've always given me the right step to follow. And I've always gotten my issues sorted out. So Stack Overflow, despite it being advanced, is actually a good place for you to actually learn at some point. Then you have to sign up for newsletters. In 2020, before I did my data science foundation course, I came across IBM newsletter. So I just signed up for the newsletter. It's more like it gives you, with every change, when there's an involvement in AI, maybe something is happening today, they'll say, okay, IBM is doing this to improve this aspect of their AI and all that. If you sign up for company newsletters, tech company newsletters now, you would know how the world is evolving. You will know what areas to focus on when you really want to focus on your tech career. You will know how everything is changing, whether, okay, maybe this particular programming, this particular code is really going out of, is really going out. Maybe Python is what is coming up now, or maybe now machine learning is competing with AI. Like, you would know how you want to channel your focus. So I would advise you sign up for newsletters, follow the trend. I mean, the way we have fashion trend and celebrity trends and everything, we also have tech trend. So there are some trends that are actually invoke. Like now, the trend invoke now is AI. AI is everything. AI is practically about to become the air we breathe. AI is every single thing. So follow the trend. You might actually go and browse and get the trend, yes, but how many times do you remember to browse in a week? But then these newsletters can send you an email every week or every day or every month, depending on how you set it up while registering for these newsletters. So I would advise you just sign up for newsletters. When you get to your mail, you just see, oh, this week, this is what is happening. This month, this is what's happening. So newsletters are like the best way for you to get updates and continuous growth and continuous knowledge about what's happening in the tech firm. Then the skill. Now you know what you want to do. Now you know, okay, do I want to go for web development or data science or UI or UX? Do I want to code? Do I want to just do the whole tech thing without having to write any code at all? By now you've done your research, you've written down what you want, you've written down whether you want to be tied down, whether you want to be a freelancer. That's even one good thing I forgot to mention. Whether you want to work for somebody or whether you want to be a freelancer. Now you know how you want to share your time. Now I'll talk about the skills. I talked about the soft skills and the hard skills. Soft skills in the sense that you could actually choose to build that because it's a character. Yeah. Team player, detail-oriented, problem solving. You could build some of them. You could work on yourself to be these kind of people. Or rather, you might already be like this. So you just need a little bit of extra hard skill. So hard skill in this case now have to do with the coding aspect or the coding part of tech. Or rather, for the part of tech that does not require coding, things like UI UX, like I mentioned before, business analyst, product manager, project manager. Now you know for UI UX, there's a software that's called Figma, the one I'm very familiar with because it's not my field, but I'm very familiar with Figma. You can use it for your UI UX. So now learning the skills, the thing there is, how do you want to learn the skills? Do you want to go on websites to learn the skills? Do you want to go through your school to learn the skills? These are like the things that you should put into consideration. And that is why from the beginning, I said, what is your plan? Do you have to quit your job? Do you have to start saving money? Or if you're choosing to learn it online on your own, do you have to probably stop some of your social activities so you could actually bring out time to focus on the online lessons, probably during the weekend or something? Like, learning the skill is a whole lot on its own because it requires tons of things. First of all, if you are going through educational system to learn the skills, what you would want to know in this aspect is what universities. Now, this is one thing that people don't check, they don't know, they just go in. Probably like before I chose this university now, I had gone through like nothing less than 15, 20 universities because I was doing my research. It was more like, okay, this particular university, they have data science. Okay, what modules? Like what modules do they have in data science? By modules, I mean, what courses do they teach? What programming languages are they ready to open me up to? Like, what is it that they have that I want? Because I already know what I wanted to learn. I was looking for schools that have these modules that I'm interested in. So you really, really need to know what you want from the aspect of tech that you want to go into. So you could start, if you're going through educational system, through the formal education system, search for probably countries that would favor you. in aspects of tech. You search for universities that would actually, so okay, when you're making your plan, you already know probably the amount of money you want to get and all that. So you would want to look for university that would actually give you what you want for the right amount of money and everything being equal. So you have to search for everything, the school fee, the education, probably the rating of the school in the world rank or something, depending on how you would want to rank the school and how popular the school is. And then for the course, because for example, my school, it has 2 data science courses. Mine is applied data science, but then we have data science. Those are like 2 different aspects of data science with similar curriculum to an extent, but then there are switches in the curriculum. So that's why I said search through the course modules. There are some things that you really think this is what you need to learn for you to be able to get a job in this place. But then the school doesn't offer it. But then you wouldn't know. You would just see, oh, data science. I want to be this. I want to do that. And then you just apply. Probably while studying, you will now be like, okay, why are we not being taught SQL? Why are we not being taught that? And then you realize that you didn't really do your research very well. You didn't really learn. You didn't really choose to learn the appropriate skill. You just went because you saw the course name. So that is one. Then secondly, we have self-education. I mean, there are so many websites now that deal with self-education like Coursera, EDX, Udemy, and the rest of them. These are like certification courses, if I'm not mistaken. But then you would want to ask yourself this question, based on your previous research on how or where you would want to work, how you would want to work, and all that, and courses that you would want to learn. These certifications, do these companies require you to have certification, or they require you to have a PhD or a master's or a bachelor's or something? So this is what you would put into consideration now while trying to learn the skill, because a lot of things are involved. Let's say that you want to go to, do they want you to have a master's degree? Do they want you to have a bachelor's degree? Or would they just not mind if you had certification course? So this is another aspect of tech again that, yes, certification is good. That is not a doubt. It's very, very good because sometimes you even need it before you even get into the university if you are going for the master's, because it grounds your knowledge. Or you could just choose to go for a learning course through YouTube. It's still your choice. So everybody knows, everybody knows IBM is another tech company that is in almost the same level with Microsoft and Amazon and Google and the rest of them. IBM is huge too. IBM has a website called CognitiveClass.ai. It's somewhere in my profile. CognitiveClass.ai deals with different courses that have to do with data science and also some other tech courses. These are places that, okay, when you learn and you get, they give certificates, but they also give badges. That's what we call badges there. So when you learn, because you learn, some of them are for beginners, some are for intermediate knowledge. So you wouldn't really jump into the aspect of intermediate when you don't really have the beginner skill yet. So you would learn from the beginner level for those that are trying to transition that have not really done anything at all with tech before. Learn from the beginner level, and then by the time you're done with like 3 or 4 courses, it's depending on how many, because you can have a package with like 3 or 4 courses in the package, right? So by the time you are done with this, then you're able to gain a badge that you could share on LinkedIn. And then for what it's worth, it's not just any random company, it's IBM. And they teach you like, that you don't know anything. That's one good thing about that particular website. I would vouch for them because you are learning like, yes, I'm a novice. Please teach me, carry me along. They give you the opportunity to learn as slowly and at your own pace, and it's not without jumping things. Like you learn gradually, and then you learn everything because they don't skip aspects of they don't skip in between. So that's one website you could learn from. You could also go for Coursera, where certificate is actually known very well. go for EDX. So it's your choice. You make researches and know whether you want to learn these skills through educational system or through certification courses online. So that's about learning the skills. Then there are challenges. The first challenge is lack of structured approach to learning. When you want to learn about these skills, the hard skills especially, there's a structure, or there should be a structure, but sometimes it's not there because you are confused. You don't know, okay, what do I want to learn? How do I start? Or you say, okay, maybe now for data science now, we need to learn data, we need to learn Python, we need to learn how to apply Python in machine learning, we need to learn SQL, we need to learn R. Then you begin to ask yourself, what do I learn first? Now that is where the question comes. That's the first challenge. Oh, probably you might see, okay, Python is widely used or is widely used, and then you start with Python. And all of a sudden, then you see somebody else's profile that says, oh, I got a job as a data scientist using SQL and R. Then you leave Python and go to no. This is like one very huge challenge that I don't know, like I think everybody has. There's no structure to learning. Like we lack the structure to learn this whole tech thing because you can need like 2 or 3 more skills in a particular field. So the structure of learning everything at once, I would say start with one and see it through. If it's SQL, start with it. Get to knowledge whereby get to a place whereby you are very comfortable with SQL, then go into Python. But also don't neglect SQL because one thing I've realized about programming languages, about all this coding, is the fact that when you leave it, it leaves you. I mean, when you leave it, it literally leaves you. So just try your best to start with one, then continue with another one. Then in the process of doing that, try and probably do projects or still work on the one you've learned so that it doesn't really leave it completely. Because there are some projects that you would actually need to combine both of them at some point. So don't start with this, leave it halfway, and because you saw that this is what is running now, you go into that. No, there should be a structure because the thing there is that we lack structures when we want to learn. I had that issue too. I wouldn't like I started with Python. I had issue with Python and SQL. So I was just dabbling between both and I was so confused that I just had to just drop both at the end of the day. That was before I found out that okay, that wasn't the right approach. So challenge there is the structured approach to learning. Let's try to start from the basic. Don't say okay, from what you learned, this is like the basic, like this is like the best part or something like this is the part that is mostly used. For example, now you go to Python, right? They say, okay, there's this library in Python called Pandas and Matplotlib and Seaborn that is perfectly used for data scientists for their visualizations. Then you now forget to learn the basic of Python. No. So I would advise let your learning process have a structure. Don't jump the gun yet. Because you want to be a data scientist or something, I understand that you would want to perfectly learn the aspect that has to be data science. But first of all, learn the basic first. Then also we have a challenge called high barrier to entry. It's like some people have been in this coding system for like 10, 15, 20 years, 25 years. And then who are you? You just came yesterday. You've only coded for 1 year and then you want to get into the tech field. I would say it's a challenge for most people. It breaks most people down. Like it just makes them just say, I can't do this. I mean, who would even employ me? That's not true. There are tons of opportunities there that are for internship. Some are even for apprenticeship. Some are even for graduate internship, graduate positions. So if it's 1 year, if it's 2 years, make sure that you have the solid background, the basic, and also that you've done something with it. That is where the no prior coding experience too. Yes, it's going to be a challenge because you don't have a coding experience before, but try and get something. Try and learn, even if it's 1 year dedication or 6 months or something. Try and be able to at least work on a real project and try and use it to get jobs for apprenticeship or internship or something. And also, we also have one challenge: strong profile build. Okay, that's showing that. Sorry, that shows our understanding of basic concepts. Do we have LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, and the rest of them? Like that's what we call GitHub. GitHub is mostly for programmers. It's mostly for those that are coding. GitHub in this sense, has to do with individuals having their profile. Probably in their profile, you see like 10, 20, 15, or rather 5 different projects they've done in coding or in tech. Sometimes when you apply for tech opportunities, when they ask you to input your LinkedIn profile link, or your Facebook link or Instagram link and stuff like that, let's say there are some of them that ask you for GitHub link. Now they want to go to your GitHub and see the codes you've written, see the works you've done. Yes, we don't have that at this stage because we are still getting into the tech field and all that, but it does not stop us. It does not stop you, because like I said earlier, opportunities for graduate internship, undergraduate internship, and even apprenticeship, they are there. So you could start with something after you must have gained the basic and important knowledge. So these challenges are there, yes, but they shouldn't really be a barrier to really stop you from achieving your goal of transitioning. It shouldn't really make you be thinking about it like this is what you really want. Don't let these challenges actually stop you at the end of the day. So that's it. Sorry. Then there's a bonus tip. For those of you that don't know, UK government is currently, there's what we call Office for Students, is currently giving scholarship for those transitioning their career into tech. Actually, not all the schools, some schools. Yes. So I dropped a website link there. When you go to the link, you can actually, on the right-hand side of the page, you will see search for courses. That will take you to schools and the courses in those schools that have opportunity for that. Now there's a criteria. Obviously, you would have to write to apply. Like I want to write, just give them the reason why they should give you this scholarship, like normal way of writing for application, right? But then there are some other criteria. They give preference to Black, we're Africans. They give preference to female. They also give preference to some other criteria. When you go to the website, you see it. So I know that I'm aware that this bonus tip is, it's basically for those coming to the UK to study, those that are actually coming from a different background that is not a tech background to study. So this scholarship is open to everyone, not in the tech field, planning to switch over to the tech field, and that is through formal education. Yes, if you're planning to switch through formal education, like through a master's, most especially, because from my research so far, the scholarship was given to universities, and it was given to some master's programs. So when you go to the link, when you use the link, you check the website, check for the universities that have affiliation with this scholarship, and check the courses in those universities that actually have the scholarship. So it's like a bonus tip. You want to transition to tech and then you're an African or you're a female, try it out and good luck. Thank you very much. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much. I think it's time for the Q&A session.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Rita. Also, we are sincerely grateful. So I want to go to the question and answer session. I hope you can hear me, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so we'll go to the first question on my table here. The first question is, how can one easily secure admission in MSc in tech when the person has a bachelor's in another area, say petroleum engineering? What is needed to enable one make the switch and securing scholarship for studies? Hope you got that.
Yes, I got that.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, there are some courses that are for conversion students coming from different backgrounds. I mean, my background was chemical engineering. So there are some courses for those students. And then in the last slide, my bonus tip, I gave a link to a website that has to do with these universities that take students in a different background. And also they have connection, yes, with the UK government for scholarships too. So it's more like they're giving you an opportunity to transition, because from what I know from my research, the UK needs tech people. They need people in the tech career, a lot of us. So if you would really want to switch, just check that website. At least you'll be able to get insights on the universities that have conversion courses. That's one. You also be able to get insights on the universities, on the courses specifically that have the scholarship from the UK government. I hope that answers your question.
Hello? I'm sorry, I lost the connection. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I don't know if you've been able to answer the question, please.
Yeah, I said something. I don't know if I was able to answer the person's question.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So let's go to the second question. And the second question is thus. I recently submitted a PDF scholarship application to study marine renewable energy, MR, Herald University, UK. Any help or tips would be a great help at this moment. Did you get that?
Sorry, I didn't get that question.
It's okay. You said I recently submitted a PTDF scholarship application to study marine renewable energy at Heriot Watt University, UK. So he's asking if there's any help or tip you would give as a great help at the moment for him.
Okay, at this moment, I don't know the area of tip you would want, whether it's maybe the courses or rather like the preparations to make before you get the scholarship, because hopefully you'd get the scholarship. So I would say maybe you could go to, okay, if you're coming from a different background into that area, maybe you could go to YouTube and watch videos on how, or rather on what is needed to be known in that background. So you will start preparing yourself so that when you get the scholarship and when you get to the university, you wouldn't really be lost from the beginning of the whole thing. I don't know. I hope that counts as a tip.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's go.
off point. Hello?
Can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for your feedback, Mrs. Rita Ozo. This is Paul, the guy that applied for the PTDF scholarship. Study Global. I saw some what is it called? I think earlier you were saying they have a way of helping students based on the fact that they have affiliations with some universities in the UK. So I was going to ask if there is, any of such help in terms of, by reason of their affiliation with, I don't know, maybe they have affiliation with areas what
Wait, I'm watching
probably
you now.
there is any, additional help. I've already submitted already. I've submitted, written my SOP and all of those. But I was just going to ask. So the question was not really for your presentation. I was directing it to study globally, actually. So, but thanks also for your own presentation. I was able to pick, just I would say, would I say in a state of dilemma, so to say right now, because coming from my own professional background and getting to know the usefulness of having a tech skill, tech is almost is relevant to almost every field of human endeavor right now. So merging up the two has been a little bit challenging. There was a time I was using CMS platforms to create websites. So then I moved to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Hope I'm not taking time. Hope I'm not saying too much already. I'm just trying to, right? Can I go on?
I think Onyekachi can answer that question. I don't know if he's still here.
Okay.
You
Like
can
I said,
go on.
can I go on? Okay.
Go on, go
Yes.
on.
Okay, so I learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to an extent. Then I attended a professional conference at Eco Hotel Nigeria this year, and I started seeing the need for me to have a knowledge of Python programming, because I wanted to put me at the frontier of my own career growth. So I had to abandon. It's not as if I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do, but the vision just came out clearer. So I started Python programming already. So, joining this lecture now, also broadens, my knowledge in other things I should be paying more attention to. So it's actually a fantastic opportunity. Thanks thanks to the organizers. So I would like Study Globally to please address that question, maybe by virtue of, I don't know if they have affiliation with the what, how they can come in to help study at UK. Though it is PTDF that is financing the scholarship though, but any additional tip, maybe for future applications, I will be applying rigorously starting from the middle of this year. So any information ahead of time, even if this PTDF, though I really want it, but if I have to look for more opportunities too, any tip or advice or lead will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for the opportunity to ask question.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Elizabeth. I want to make a contribution from Maduna University. Hello, Rita.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Nice to see you.
Nice
Yeah,
to see you
from
too.
Maduna University. I'm sure you remember me very well. Yeah.
I do.
So first of all, I want to say that I'm delighted to be part of this meeting, because it's an eye opener. Many of us think that we just have to base on the first degree, course that we've done in school, and we have to just keep pushing on with that. But these days, there's a lot of switch, because you have to move with the trend. You have to update yourself with what the society requires of you, and then you have to move with the trend. If it requires you to go and acquire a skill in that particular area, I advise that you better do that. But there's something I wanted to sort of ask. Where do we see our system of education in a few years to come? Because a lot of us now, we finish from school and we have our first degree, we have our master's degree, and we go to look for a job. And we don't, we have, most of us, after having the certificates, we don't have the technical know-how to apply in the job field. So someone said, where I had a conference, someone said something there. He said that very soon that we will come to a time where we don't need to go to a classroom environment. We can just sit back and teach ourselves skills and acquire skills. That it will get to a point where we do not require certificate to apply for job. What they just ask you for is, what skills do you have? What can you do? What can you contribute? So what's your say on that? What do you feel? Do you feel it's going to get to that point? I just wanted to hear from you. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. All right. Thank you.
Okay. It has gotten to that point to an extent because there are some job opportunities, like I said, that when you would apply for, what they'll be asking for is your LinkedIn profile, your GitHub profile. By the time you probably did a self-study on your own for your course or for the tech career that you are interested in, it's advised that you have a GitHub profile whereby you dump your code, like write your code, write what we call a README file and so many other things that have to do with tech there. When someone goes to your profile, they can see what you've done and how you've achieved your result and all that. So some job opportunities don't require tech fields. And so yes, don't require you to have certificates or masters or something. Yes, some of them don't. But for now, there are a few, and since there are a few, very soon you would become rampant and all that. So I would say it's okay for you to actually try that method, because some just look for apprenticeships. By that, they want somebody that, okay, what do you know? And then we can also now train you in our own area of business to improve what you know in this particular tech field. So yes, it's actually bound to happen at some point.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just add something. I would say for myself, from my own point of view, it's not bad to have the certificates, but don't just go after getting the certificate. Have a real technical know-how, be able to be creative. You saying you want to go and learn the skill, you have to be creative. Bring your own brand of that skill up. That is what you should aim at. Having the certificate is just a confirmation that yes, you've gone for the training to have the skill. So that's just it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I'm back now. I don't know. I just lost connection, so I lost total touch with what's going on. Well, thank you very much for holding thoughts. I know we are in the question and answer session. So are we done with the answering? Are we done with the questions? Rita, are we done?
Yes, I've answered the ones that have been asked.
Okay. And some people's hands are raised up. I don't know if Engineer Wisdom has asked this question. I don't know if Chuku has asked this question. Have they asked?
Not yet. Not yet.
No, Wisdom have not yet asked.
Okay, so Mr. Wisdom, you can go ahead.
Okay. Good day, everybody.
Good day.
Okay. My name is Engineer Okafor Wisdom. I have some questions to ask as pertain to the subject of discussion, and in particular again about University of Teesside that our presenter is currently schooling at. My question, one of them is that the University of Teesside is not among the top UK universities. And you mentioned about researching whether the school in question that one has interest, is it among the best, or whether are they the top schools in UK. So Teesside is not among them. So what could be the effect in one's career prospect in UK after schooling there? That's my first question.
Okay, can I answer for your second question?
Yes.
Okay. So when I was talking, I said there are so many things that you have to put into consideration. Among them, I know I mentioned the university ranking. I also mentioned the course you want to study. And I also mentioned the modules that university is offering for the course you want to study. So all these things put into consideration, I've come to understand that UK is a system that does not do, okay, you went to University of Teesside or Teesside University, then you went to University of Bristol, then you went to London School of this. No, it's not like, pardon me to say, it's not like our home country whereby whereby you really get job based on university you went to. Know. In this place, plus also in the tech field, if you have the knowledge and you have the skill and you have the proof to show that you have the skill and then you have the knowledge and you know what you are doing, with your knowledge and with your skill, you're able to apply for any job at all you want. If you do well in the interview, you are employed. So that does not really count as a criteria for you to not get a job or for you to get a job, notwithstanding. As long as you know what you are looking for, you're able to grab what you are taught in school and you're able to implement it. You've probably done one or two projects in the tech aspect that you will be able to use and defend the knowledge of the skill you have. That's all that matters since it's tech most especially. I hope that answers your question. Now wisdom.
While we're waiting for him, let's go to Chuku Cyprian. So quickly, because we don't have much time on our side. Mr. Chuku Cyprian, just ask a question.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry, I'm back. Can I proceed?
Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, the first one, yes, is clearly answered. The second question is the University of Teesside. How is the school in terms of the school management and their studies? Are they actually doing well? And also, I saw online about some negative testimony in as per the life in Middlebrough, that the crime rates over there is high. I don't know. You know, these are some things that can make someone who is not there to have some reservations and cold feet. So I don't know whether I can help you clear me on these two doubts.
Okay, I understand the aspect of doing your research before getting into any university. It's perfectly normal. But there are some, no, not there are some. Every university have positive and negative reviews. But from my experience in the school, I would say, I think I have the right to say that international students are giving more priority self. Because for every single thing I or my friends or anybody I've known wanted, for whatever we have wanted, for whatever queries we've had with school, every single thing was given immediate attention. And we had our answers or feedback or issues resolved. Then for the crime rate, I would say no city has zero crime rate. But from the crime rate in Teesside as a whole, in Middlesbrough as a whole, to me, it's very, 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 very low because so far so good. I've not had anything, I've not witnessed anything, and things are happening. Like people go out, they come back safely. We have nightlife. I mean, I spend like the whole night in the library and I come back by 4 a.m. and I'm good to go. So Middlesbrough is a safe city. I hope that answers your question.
Clearly, yeah. And then lastly,
Thank you.
Lastly again is that for one that want to process the September intake admission, what's the, or can one apply for visa? Let's say, I mean, travel to the school about 2 months or 3 months before the start of the classes, or what's the maximum duration this thing you must not this thing come?
Okay, I think I understand what you're trying to ask, but I would advise you to get the admission first, get your cards and apply for a visa first. On your visa, when you are being granted visa, there's a date there for you, like the date when you're applying for a visa, yes, you give them a date when you want to travel. But when they give you your visa back, like when you get the visa, they write down a date for you when you can travel. So I think that depends on the school and the course. It can be PhD, it can be master's, but it would vary based on the course. So I don't really have specific info on that right now.
Okay. It's all right. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you
very
too.
much, Mr. Wisdom. So I want to close this meeting in the next few minutes. That's by 5:30 from that's GMT. So that's why I will just cut you off for this time. So we just want to ask some questions that were asked at the chat on the chat box. I have a question here, and it's a question that have been popping up most times I deal with and meet with candidates. And that other question is, please, besides MSc, can someone be granted admission into UK with HND? Somebody that has HND as the undergraduate degree, can someone get admitted to study masters in the UK? Over to you, Rita.
Good day.
Did you get that?
Yes, I got that. Okay, from my knowledge, from my experience, from people I've seen so far, I think, some schools actually grant you admission with HND, but you would have to make more research actually to know the particular schools and probably the courses that are actually open for that, because I don't have that information at hand. But there is, let me just market these people. There is a company or there's a group of people in charge of helping you get admission into the UK, or rather outside Nigeria, mostly UK, called, we know them as UKEAS, but the new name now is Intake Education. I think when you get to their website and chat them up or something, they have every single info. They even have the schools that actually help with such admissions using HND. So I would say you just better make the research through them and also your own personal research. Check YouTube videos. Everything is on YouTube if you ask me. So just make the research, because I don't really have that info at hand presently.
Okay, thank you very much. And we actually, you can also reach out to us too. Since we are agents, we also work with people like that, UKers, and so we can give you feedback for more. For the person who asked that question, you can reach out to us after this webinar. Our numbers, like I displayed before, I'll display them there on the screen. So we want to move straight to the next in our agenda. So thank you very, very much, Madam Rita. Thank you all the participants who have asked questions. And for those whose questions were not answered, please.
Thank you, sir.
Let me inform you that your questions are with us, and we'll also relay them to the guest speaker who will give us answers, so we can send them to you via mail. And you can actually drop your mails to us. Although since you were invited by us and you actually registered for this event, we have your email addresses. So we'll send them to you, and we'll also give you feedback once that is done. So let's go straight to the next in our agenda. That has to do with the photo session. So I'll quickly hand over to my colleague who will handle that aspect. So while we're at it, over to Mr. Goswill Obai.
Hello, Rita. Rita.
Hi, Goswill.
Hello, Rita.
Hello?
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's also Dennis calling you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir.
Congratulations. It's wonderful watching you, what you are doing there.
Thank you very much.
Within a short spell of time, you are in UK, you've gotten to that level. You are going to be a minister in UK.
Thank you very, very much, sir. So we've already finished that session now.
Everybody meets my uncle. He already spoke, so I have to
Hello, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck, eh?
Thank you very, very much.
Sir.
All right.
So we'll go to our photo session now. So I would like and I would advise everyone at this time to put on their videos, put on their cameras so that we can see and take a very nice shot. Let's smile so that those at the back end can take our pictures. Thank you very, very much. So I will stop sharing. Okay. put on your videos. It's not night at this time, so let's put on our videos. We'll just put it on, and after about 2-3 minutes, we are done, and we can go back to our hiding. Put on your video cameras, please. Put on your video cameras.
We are not smiling. Okay, I think we are good. Okay, we are good.
Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kachi, for taking over the session where I had a little bit of issue. Thank you so much, Ms. Rita, for such a very wonderful presentation. I believe from what I've seen so far, people have really gained a lot from the session, and we're praying. It's our prayer that after this, people would be able to achieve excellent results in whichever field they decide to branch into. So please, at this moment, we'll be inviting Obianoju to give us an announcement for SP, because as said earlier, this event is in collaboration with Society of Petroleum Engineers Port Harcourt session. Obianoju, you have the floor. Okay, which is not available. Simeon, please, can you take the announcement on her behalf?
Okay, thank you very much. I want to also use this medium to also appreciate our speaker for today. We are really, really very, very grateful for doing justice to the topic. Okay, so very quickly, we'll just move over to the announcement. Okay, this is SP, Society of Petroleum Engineers. So as you can see on your screen, SP is a place for all of today's oil, gas, energy industry professionals and students, regardless of experience or course of study. So SP is a worldwide forum of individual members organization, serving managers, engineers, scientists, and all professionals worldwide in the upstream, midstream, and downstream sector of the oil and gas industry for the exchange of technical knowledge. Let me just ship this in. Our vision is to enable the global oil and gas E&P industry to share technical knowledge needed to meet the world's energy needs in a safe and environmentally responsible manner. So our vision is also to collect, disseminate, and exchange technical knowledge, and also to provide opportunity for professional competence. Just like yesterday, young professional in Port Harcourt session, they had a monthly technical series on the topic artificial intelligence and machine learning in subsurface mapping. So these are some of the technical knowledge we do hold in SP. So we come together to organize technical meetings. So just as you can see on your screen, who can be a member of SP? We have the students, recent graduates, young professionals, senior members, and you can also see some of the benefit of being an SP member. You have a strong industrial network of leaders, peers, and mentors, just like I said earlier on. Just as the young professionals, they had their technical meetings. So that are some of the ways you can also meet some persons in the profession, probably working in another company. So that is how you can also share technical knowledge. We also have a live technical event, just like the one we had yesterday, that was held yesterday, and also enhance industry knowledge and so much more. Below, you can see some of the benefit also. These are some of the ways you can exploit being a member of SP. So from this slide, here in Port Harcourt session, we are the second largest in Nigeria with a coverage of about 6 states with a 13 student chapter. So our membership strength, which you can see on the screen. So for our student member, for you to register is free. All you need to do, just go to sp.org and you register as an SP member. So it's free for students. For professional member, the new registration is 26,000, while for renewal is 21,000. So the pictures you see below are some of our previous events that was held. So you can just see some of the pictures there. So the next slide is talking about some of our contact person that you can contact if you have any challenge or you want to become a member of SP and you need some clarification. So you can contact these persons you are seeing on the screen. So just make the necessary inquiries and get it right and come on board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simeon. So there you have it on SP. It's a wonderful platform, and it has an international coverage. So being an SP, it's like a great opportunity to everyone, and you have the opportunity of networking with necessary persons in whatever field you want to be a part of. Also, as you all know, this event is organized by Study Globally Nigeria, and one of the things that Study Globally does is to help people to process their admissions to different partner universities in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia for free. So you see, processing of admission is free of charge when you come through Study Globally Nigeria. So we have other services such as our scholarship platform. We help to write some SOPs if you're not able to go through it. And then when you follow Study Global in Nigeria, you are privy to information such as is being organized shared in this webinar. So we have our webinars every month where we share insights on different aspects when it comes to furthering your studies, your graduate studies, and even for undergraduate students. So I will encourage all of us to follow Study Globally on Nigeria on different platforms. You can check us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Study Globally Nigeria. Okay, so we're trying to close this event, and we'll be looking at taking the closing remark on the vote of thanks. Yes, to have access to the record for this recording, you can check out our YouTube page. It will be shared on our LinkedIn page, but it's easier when you go to our YouTube page and then you search for it, and you will see the recording of this webinar alongside with the recordings of other webinars we've been hosting. So that's a large world of knowledge. So you just check us out on our different social media platforms and you have access to all this information. So for the closing remark and the vote of thanks, I just want to say a very big thank you to Society of Petroleum Engineers Port Harcourt session for helping in ensuring this program is being sent out to everybody monthly. And I'll be inviting Frank to help us with our closing remark.
Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to my colleagues. I study globally in Nigeria, our events organizer at Society of National Engineering, which is section of Nigeria, for your dedication and for your time over the past hour. My special gratitude goes to our speaker, Rita Uzo, for connecting with us from miles away. We appreciate you immensely. And, we cannot
Thank you
pay
very
you.
much.
We are really, really grateful. So may God continue to increase you in Jesus' name. We
Amen.
want to, I believe for those of us who may be considering switching to tech, and maybe probably because SOP is very important in your statement of purpose. And if you feel you may not be able to write a very good SOP, trust me, Study Globally Nigeria is committed in helping students in writing their statement of purpose at affordable fee. You can follow them up at Study Globally in all the platforms, or you can visit or Instagram at Massive Global for more information. I want to believe that each and every one of us have learned as much as I did here, and that this will serve as a guide to students who would like to switch to tech. Even me too, I want to also switch to tech. Finally, to everyone here present, this webinar is because of your effort and participation. I want to say thank you. See you all next month in February for another webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Frank, for that wonderful vote of thanks. And as he said, see you in next month's edition of the Study Global Nigeria monthly webinar. And we'll come to end with prayers. We'll end with prayers. Please, Olushola, help us in our closing prayer.
Okay, thank you all for joining. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for how far you've helped us. Thank you for everyone who was able to join. So be glorified in Jesus' name. God, will pray that all you've actually taught us, you help us to make right decision. And as a lot of us switch, we pray you guide us aright as we make such decision. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Olushola.
Amen.
And thank you to
Amen.
everybody that participated. See you all in our next month's edition. Thank you so much, Ms. Rita. We'll keep in touch with you for further guidance. Bye.
Thank you very much
and
for the
God bless
opportunity.
you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much, everyone.